and welcome to day 7 of 7 days of creation. This day, hands down, has been the most miraculous and the most amazing of any of the days. What happened was last year we planted a vegetable garden in our front flower beds because the beds were already there up in front of the house and I didn't want to make new beds. So we planted tomatoes, we planted cantaloupe, we planted peppers, and we planted okra and lots of different things. And we had great big humongous plants and we had little to no fruit except for okra, and we don't even like okra. And so after spending all that time and all that money in those front beds, I said, you know what, stuff just doesn't grow here, forget it. And here in my backyard, as you can see, I have this great big area of rock beds before you get over into my pool area. And I hate this rock bed. I super hate it because, okay, I don't mind the area on the other side because it has our fireplace and we set up chairs around it and we can have, you know, little fires outside sometimes in the evening. That's fine. But this huge bed over here is just pointless because in the summertime we're running around with bare feet and the rocks get super hot and they're uncomfortable to walk on, and it's just a huge waste of space in my opinion. So what was happening was on day 7, I mentioned to my husband, I'm like, you know what would be awesome? It would be awesome if we could plant some watermelon or some cantaloupe, if we just had a humongous watermelon patch or a humongous cantaloupe patch, but covered up the whole rock bed so we wouldn't accidentally run across them or step on it. And additional to that, guess what does grow here in the summer? Lots of weeds. And so we have to go through and pull and spray all the weeds in the rock beds. And since we're not using it, it's just really annoying. So what happened was on that day that I mentioned it to my husband, I said, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be amazing? And I kind of manifested it. But again, maybe because I didn't quite have sufficient faith or whatever, I thought I had to do it. So I went to the store and I got a whole bunch of potted plants. And I said, this year, we're not going to waste our money. I'm going to put my tomatoes in pots. I'm going to put my peppers in pots, my herbs in pots. Everything's going to be in a pot just to make sure I get some fruit out of this. And on that day, I thought, you know what, I'll get some shallow pots and I'll plant some watermelon and I'll plant some cantaloupe in a shallow pot, and then the vine can just grow over and can grow out and can grow onto the rocks. And that's how I will create, with my faith by action, my little watermelon patch over here. On that day, I went and I got seeds and I got pots and I got soil and I planted them. And as I was bringing the pots around back, I noticed there was the tiniest little plant growing up in the crack right along the sidewalk, you could say, and my rocks. And I'm like, that looks like a watermelon plant. That's so crazy. I wonder what it is. It's probably just a weed, but it looked like a watermelon plant. Now, fast forward 3 weeks of crazy rain. Check out what has happened in my rock bed. Here is one new baby plant that's cantaloupe. Here is one new baby plant that looks more like a watermelon. This is another new cantaloupe, and another new cantaloupe, and another new watermelon, and another new cantaloupe. And that original little baby plant that I saw the week that I put my seedlings in is now this massive plant growing right at my sidewalk. And you know what happened to my faith by action seedlings that I planted myself? They got completely flooded out. This one is my watermelon. He still has his leaves, but it will be a small miracle if it actually survives. And this is my cantaloupe that it came up and it flourished and then it got flooded out. My squash survived because it had better drainage, but my attempts of creating my heaven ended up pretty fruitless. But grace brought to me an even better heaven of plants out of the middle of rocks. That is how amazing creation and manifestation works. So if you're interested in creating some more beautiful, wonderful things in your life, look at the link below for my next upcoming class of Learn to Create It. I'm Jen Van Sat, shining my light so that you can shine yours.